Hello everyone. We're back again with another Devtopia episode. Here we got like Rasmic. I think most of you probably already know about him
Wow.
from Twitter and his YouTube channels. Probably, I think most of you have already like subscribed to his channel and already know about him. But yeah, so he's here in Ethiopia for I think for his vacation.
Yes. I
So
was
yeah,
burning out. I needed
so
vacation.
yeah, we thought that would be a good opportunity to have him on the podcast, and he said yes. So and then we're thankful for that.
Well, I'm thankful for the invite. It really
Yeah,
means a
yeah.
lot. Thank you. I'm
Yeah,
a
yeah, like it's our honor. So yeah, so we're gonna do that, and I guess we're gonna talk about his like programming journey. I guess we're gonna be talking about a lot of AI stuff as well. But yeah, it's gonna be a cool episode. Yeah, that's what's gonna be. Let's get
Yeah.
started with it.
Welcome to our channel.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
To our
Thank you.
episode, I guess.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Make sure to subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've never done that. We've never asked people to like and subscribe. We should,
no,
like, have,
that's
like,
why
a
our
graphic.
subscriber count
No,
is
you need
very
to
low.
ask.
We
You
need
Yeah,
to
like,
ask.
You need to ask.
even if they like, even if you like you're watching like a video and like you enjoy it, you'll not like remember to do it.
Yeah, you have to
Oh,
ask.
Yeah.
So we should start adding that
Yeah.
at the end of the
Please,
video.
for my sake,
Yeah.
subscribe.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah.
you.
So I guess we could get started with like, how did you get into programming, or like,
Yeah.
was it always what you like? I don't know. Were you always interested in like computers and stuff since you were a child or something? I don't know.
Yeah, like, so I know a lot of people have like, they were into Minecraft, or
Yeah.
mine was, I used to jailbreak iPhones.
Oh,
That was my side
Geo.
business.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people who don't know, I actually used to live here. So I was born in Canada,
Okay.
lived there till I was like 6 years old,
Mhm.
and then from 7 to 14 I lived here. So that's why I'm is perfect.
Okay.
And so yeah, like the journey really started with like jailbreaking iPhones. So jailbreak iPhones, if you guys remember, like Android had like the pattern type password,
Mhm.
and I used to charge like 10 bir to do that for people. So that was like my first like
Wow.
in and interest into, I would say, like computers. And then when we moved back to Canada for university, I did computer science for a year and a half, and then I dropped out. I dropped out because I was with the wrong crowd, and I was a bad boy.
Okay.
So not your conventional path. I dropped out, and I just started to like, I was just grinding, right? So like this was a time where like in the West, like sneakers were very hot. So
Oh.
I would like download bots off like sketchy Discord, like forums, and try to like snipe like sneakers and then flip them, and then I started pay people to go out, like line up and then get the latest drop and flip. So I was very much in like a hustle mode. If you look at like my resume, like I kid you not, I probably worked like 50 jobs. Like I'd work like retail here and do this there. So like very like I say that to say because it was a very like not your average background. In 2017, I got into Web3 crypto.
Okay.
Now
Oh,
everybody
of
hates it,
course.
but back then it used to be cool.
Yeah.
And I remember like buying Bitcoin and Ethereum early. Like if I showed you my old wallet transactions, like I had like 20, 30 Bitcoins, and they were worth like nothing at the time. And if only I held, right? If only I held. But like, so I got into that space, and then I really started to get interested into like decentralized finance as a whole, right?
Yeah.
Like the idea that, like the biggest fascination to me is that someone with no identity verification can put some collateral up and get a loan against it, right? I think in many places of the world, like banking is a very core infrastructure that a lot of people don't have the privilege of,
Yeah.
whether it's, you know, infrastructural or political. I digress. So that was very interesting to me. So I started to get involved in those type of projects. I started to help build community and stuff like that. But I started to get to a point where I had a lot of ideas I wanted to build, but I couldn't build them.
Oh.
And because I did computer science for a year and a half, I had a lot of like engineer friends, right? And I would always share with them, listen, like I got this idea. If we build this, it would grow this. And everyone's like, yeah. Like I'm sure all of you guys get hit up by that one business
Yeah.
friend, or
Yeah.
Anta Bildargo will be rich, right? So I don't blame them for it. But I really like I tried. I'm like, please, like someone pay attention to me. No one did.
Yeah.
And it was around 2022 August. I'm like, screw it. I'm going to, like, I started this before.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be hard for me. I'm going to do it again. So August 2022, I took Harvard CS50 class, which is a free online class. The
Yeah.
best computer science
amazing, yeah.
intro, in my opinion. The best. And it's completely free. So I started that, and that, like, reignited this love that I had for programming. I didn't realize that I genuinely enjoyed it. So from 2022, I would say like August to the end of December, I was just learning, building projects. I did like this quick certification, did that as well. And December 2022 is when I felt like, oh, okay, I actually understand this thing. Like, heck, I get recursion. React makes sense. The DOM makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, like I can build my own things. But then ChatGPT dropped.
Oh.
And then the next day, Google did like 60,000 people layoff. So my idea was I'm going to learn myself, build a couple projects, get a job.
Yeah.
And by the time I felt like I was ready for the job, the mass layoffs started to happen. Google, Microsoft, and I live in Toronto, which is not the best like market, right? It's nothing compared to like the States. So getting a job was almost impossible.
Yeah.
I was like 400 or 500 applications in, nothing. But what I would do is like, I kid you not, like 8 hours a day. It's all I would do. Like I'm reading the books, I'm building projects, I'm watching the videos. Like I'm going like straight insane. Like I'm putting in my 10,000 hours. And then finally I realized, oh, I really loved Web3 and I had a lot of ideas. Let's see if I could try to build it. So around early mid 2023, I launched my first startup. It's called OrdKit. And it was basically like a Shopify for Bitcoin NFTs, right? Bitcoin NFTs were new at the time. Everyone was talking about Ethereum NFTs, but Bitcoin was new. It was fully decentralized. It was exciting. It was on the Bitcoin network. But it was very like a lot of people were getting scammed because people were trading on Discord channels. And as you can imagine, you could send someone the money and them not send you whatever it is that you want. So I built it. I built the first version. And I think like instantly, like the first like tweet I made, it had like 20,000 active users, right? So I went from someone who like you could theoretically build these apps, you know, patching all these services together. Oh, but now I need to worry about scale because everything's breaking, right? My super base is getting nuked. Like users are complaining about, oh, I can't sign up. Like, and at peak we had like 150K active users, monthly active users.
That's great.
And I had learned, like in the process, I'm learning, okay, let's set up a queue, let's schedule jobs, like we should have background jobs, we should have this, we should have that. Like, oh, maybe it's not a good idea to use SQLite when people are hammering your thing because concurrency is issue. I learned the hard way. You see, I thought, oh, Terso has a free tier, great, let's use that. No, terrible idea. And then I was using Supabase, and then I hated Supabase. So it was a lot of like ups and downs, but like I genuinely started to get comfortable building and scaling apps. And the startup started to do really, really well. Applied for Y Combinator, didn't get accepted.
No.
But the business started to grow really, really well. I brought on two friends. One of them and myself started to disagree heavily. And it started to affect our friendship.
No.
And mind you, I'm not that, like, I've been in the business world, but I've never done business with friends. So I'm like, okay, I don't want this to ruin our friendship. I left. I gave up the business, no equity, no cash. I just left. Mind you, I think in 2023 did 3 million in revenue.
Oh no.
I have no job.
That's very kind of you.
Yeah. Well, some might say a little foolish, right? I left because again, I didn't want anything to get into our friendship. Hindsight, I should have, got a little something out of it. But now we're back at square zero where I have these skills now, but still no job. And this is where YouTube comes in. I realize I'm like, okay, these resumes are getting filtered by some machine. For some reason, I'm just like not ticking the green boxes. Why don't I record videos of me explaining technical concepts and like hyperlink that in the resume or send it to the recruiters? So that was the idea of the YouTube channel. I didn't care for it. My goal wasn't to get views. It was, please, some recruiter watch it so that I can get a job. And that's why I named it Rasmic. My name is Michael Shimeles. I named it Rasmic because I'm like, oh, no one can search that. That was my 16-year-old rap name. So I'm like, no one's going to search that. No one's going to find these videos. So I did that. But then the video started to get views. And during that time, I got a job because a friend referred me. So, and that's the main thing. If you're trying to get a job, work on referrals. Screw the resume. Honestly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't help. Like, be nice, hit up old friends, do favors, get a referral. Anyway, I got a referral. I got my first official big boy job. This is I would say like close to end of 2023, and now I'm doing the YouTube channel. And that's sort of like the progress of how I got into the space.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, it's just been like, I did a bunch of hackathons. I built a lot of like open source projects. I also contributed to like a lot of like companies, for example, Temple Labs, which is like a YC company, I think YC23. I built their SaaS template engine, which brought like a lot of revenue. So I'm starting to contribute and like build, like I'm starting to feel like an engineer, even though I don't have the credentials for it. And so, yeah, we went from the corporate job to Temple Labs to now we're at Convex.
Yeah.
And that is basically a summary of it all.
Yeah, that sounds like an awesome story. But what happened to that Web3 startup? Are they still operating?
I think it died.
Oh.
I think it died.
Did you guys have funding for that, or were just?
No, it was completely like again, like the moment I launched it, it started to make money, but it also started to break massively.
Okay.
So obviously took that money. Actually, it was funny. The first time I used Vercel, I was on the free tier.
Yeah.
And then after that, we jumped to enterprise. I had never been on the pro tier. Right now, like obviously he's the pro tier, but like it was the fun. And I'm now like I have a lot of good friends at Vercel. I'm also very good friends with Guillermo. And now I know that if your company is looking to get Vercel enterprise, you should definitely negotiate because I was getting scammed.
Okay.
Yeah, because again, I'm new to all of this, right?
Weird, right?
It's
how
relative,
does that
right?
work?
It's very relative, right?
Oh,
It's like it's depending on your negotiation skills and so you definitely like they told me, oh, $6,000 every 3 months. I'm like, yes.
That's
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But shout out to Vercel. I love Vercel. But yeah, it was a lot of like pain and ups and downs, and it all worked out for the best. Praise God.
Awesome. So, what happened with your interest in Web3? What did you do with that?
Yeah, like there's still like a part of me that really, again, I'm very fascinated with the DeFi space. The unfortunate thing is the space needs a whole rebranding as a whole because the meme coins, the Solana, is like, it's actually such a brand risk where like I don't talk about it as much just because like I work with a lot of companies that do a lot of consulting, a lot of sponsorships. That's not something they want to associate themselves with, right?
Yeah.
So, but like I think there's a place where you can sort of use that infrastructure. You could use the blockchain without making it look like the blockchain. For example, I had this idea. I'm working on it. I paused it for a little bit. I called it Bur AI. Bur as in and basically it was like my like I do a lot of investing. I wanted to build like my own like dashboard that works for me that I can invest on. The one thing that I was really fascinated by is this idea of like someone can use their credit card or their debit card to like, let's say, fund their account, but really on the back end it's an on-ramp and you buy like USDC or USDT and then you can use that to trade synthetic stocks or cryptos or whatever. Like that's very fascinating to me. But here's the thing, in order to make that work, it can't feel like crypto, it can't feel like blockchain. So like there's use cases like that, especially for like countries where like again, KYC might be an issue and all these other things. Like that type of stuff fascinates me, but having it as association, unfortunately, the scammers have ruined it.
Yeah, the technology was good, but like you said, I think too much brand risk in it.
Yeah, the meme coins just ruined it for everybody.
I mean, I guess I share your like story related to like crypto because I used to hold a lot of like Stellar. I'm not sure
Stellar Lumens XLM.
Yes, I used to have a lot of those. Then they were worth basically nothing back then.
Yeah.
So there was this site, gambling site, that I just. And I lost all of them.
Oh no! Yeah.
So
it's a rite of passage.
Yeah, it's a rite of passage. Right. We would all have been millionaires by now. But,
yeah.
Their work. But I guess I understand your the brand risk and etc. with Web3.
Yeah.
But do you think it still has a valid use case in like a country like ours, for example? I'm sure in the US or Canada there are many applications for it. But in a country like ours, do you think someone should invest time in Web3 or not Web3 like the NFTs, etc., but actually like deploying apps on like a decentralized?
Yeah, like I'll give you an example. I had this project called Embed Chain before like another company bought the domain and raised money. So now SEO as it doesn't exist. But the idea was like you can store your vector embeddings on a blockchain, right? So there's this blockchain called Arweave, which is its main purpose is for storage. And I remember like this is when RAG was cool. Everybody hates RAG now. But back when RAG was cool, I remember like storing your vector embeddings was like, that was a whole business model in and of itself. Like, there's tons of like database companies that raised millions just off that tagline. But there was a part of me that's like, oh, like storage on Arweave is extremely cheap. Like we're talking like fraction of a penny. It'd be cool if like you can have like some UI that looks like a database, but really everything is just stored on Arweave. So like there's applications like that. I think blockchain really, really makes sense. One thing I will say though is follow your regulatory body, right? Follow the laws. Don't do anything stupid. Don't, you know what I mean? So
Don't try to pull a silk road.
don't, please follow the laws.
A lot of people actually made money in at least in Addis Ababa. Do you remember those sort of pump and dump schemes? Where they simply tap the.
Oh, I think that's still happening, right?
That's still happening. I'm not sure.
There are like a bunch of like meme coins that ask you to open an app and like tap a button and they
You
would
basically
show you
like, there's
an
no value
ad.
in it, but
Really? I know Pump.fun. I don't know if you guys have heard of Pump.fun, but they were basically like a meme coin launchpad.
Yeah.
So like again, that is in and of itself. They made launching meme coins easy, and all they did was take a little bit of fee. And I know those guys were like 4 or 5 developers, and they made like easy like 10 million a month, like for like until like obviously now it's probably down.
Yeah.
But the technology is so powerful you can do something like that, but unfortunately that ruins it for everybody else, right? So I think there's a lot of like use case with banking, with identity, with storage, like for example, like on the Bitcoin blockchain, ordinals, which are like the NFTs of Bitcoin, like unlike Ethereum, where most Ethereum NFTs, all that was stored was the metadata.
Yeah.
So it's just this giant JSON that linked to like a
IPFS,
Cloudflare or an IPFS or even like AWS, right?
Wow.
Which is hilarious, decentralized. But on blockchain, like the actual like image or data was actually inscribed on a single Satoshi, right? So like imagine like legal documents, right? Like imagine like I saw someone, they inscribed the Bible, right? Like sacred texts like that. That's very important. Like that type of stuff is cool and it's fascinating, right? But I think in order to, if you're someone who's interested in that space, the way you build your UX and UIs, you just can't make it feel like it's crypto. You can use it in the back end, but just don't make it feel like it is in the front end.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great thing. So I want to get back to like that point where you like spent like 1.5 years in sales, and I think so you started hustling, real hustling, not like SaaS.
No. Not Shatsy and create install. No.
But after, if ChatGPT like came out like a couple of years before that, would you have learned like get into like
invested all of that time.
Invest all of that time into like learning and stuff, or would you have just used the vibe coding tools?
No, here's the thing. I personally would have learned because I genuinely enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Like, so the one thing I think where I'm very thankful to God for is I genuinely love the game. Like I enjoy, like you can ask my wife, like, what do I do for fun? Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm on vacation and I brought like a book called Structural Design Output blah 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 Scheme. Like it's an old like MIT textbook. Like I genuinely like a great systems book, by the way. Like I genuinely enjoy writing code. I actually kind of hate the new AI wave that's happening just because it's robbing me of being able to the joy. But the game is the game. If AI is producing faster outputs, you use it. So 100%, I think I would. There's a part of me that like I wish I started earlier because now it feels like at least again we're in a very like our own bubble, right? Like we're in this like tech bubble that I feel like there's some Java developer out there who's writing Spring Boot and like you know what I mean? Like it's still the same old, right? I feel like it's the JavaScript, TypeScript, soy devs that like are always encompassed with this stuff. But yeah, I would have 100%. I enjoy writing code.
I think there are like a bunch of people like who are in like the same kind of situation that you are in, and then there's just like saying I can just vibe code. It's like, and then there are like companies like that are going towards it. Or I don't know. I don't know what the future will be.
Yeah, like I mean, you definitely have to like for example, Convex is very like the founders. And here's what I realized. I think the company you work for, if the founders are a little bit older, that means they love the game. They've been in the game. They love to write code. So they're purists in a sense. The Convex founders, both James and and Jamie, they're very like code purists. Like it's an art to them, right?
Yeah.
Like clean code is an art. Like abstractions is an art. Like how you design your APIs, it's an art, right? So, and one of the reasons I joined them is like I wanted to work with people like that so I can level up.
Yeah.
Versus like yeah, like I consult a lot of startups and do a lot of contract work like through Fabrika, which is my product studio, and yeah, like a lot of companies are telling their engineers like yeah, spin up Claude Code,
Yeah.
install the Ralph Wiggum plugin, and then have your stop hooks and then let it run for like 4 days,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's
It's
yeah.
become a standard now. Like everybody's expecting you to use cache. That's like I think I experienced it with my latest job. Like I'll be talking about some problem. I think during like the first couple of weeks, I'll be talking about like some problem I'm solving in Huddle, and the first question is always like, do you ask cache or do you ask? So I think yeah, it's kind of standard now. So.
Yeah, like I think, look, here's the thing. I definitely think there are things you shouldn't waste your time on. Like, I hate writing tests. Oh, with a passion. And I'm so thankful something like Claude Code. What?
Yeah. You can just.
Yeah, like I'm like literally I was working on like a little fun project the other day, and I told like Claude Code like yo write a bunch of tests, and it wrote like 186 of them, right?
Wow.
And it's like that's like thank the Lord. I don't want to write that, right?
Yeah.
But there's like core functionality that like you enjoy figuring out, and but now the question is, are you an engineer or are you a product person, right? And at the end of the day, if you're a product person, I actually think we're going to enter an era where people won't really care for code quality, which is sad.
Yeah.
But I guess most companies really care about is profits, right? And if the shareholders are happy, then
Yeah.
I mean, like that all of that reusability stuff that we heard about during the OOP era,
yeah,
like that's going away because you're not using a human is not reusing your code. Like,
Yeah.
it's the machine, right? So if the machine understands that,
Actually,
there's
I read like some crazy blog like last week. So it's like there is a standard within the infrastructure where like you don't update a system, you just recreate it, you destroy it and recreate it. So it's like everything is declarative. You can like you have your Kubernetes like Kubernetes like
configurations.
What was that thing? Hermes or what's that?
Helm.
Helm. Yeah.
Yeah, your
Helm.
Helm
You can
scripts.
just you can have your templates, and so the standard in the infrastructure world is you destroy your whole like infrastructure and you rebuild it with like one config, one declarative config. That's what Terraform and the other products are doing. So like that blog was saying, do the same thing for code. So separate out everything you separate your system into a bunch of like tiny little microservices, and every single time you want to update it, rewrite the whole system again. And because that's super cheap because of like the
instead
AI
of like,
that we're
because here's the
building
thing, like reviewing code is actually reviewing and rewriting is more difficult than building from scratch, right?
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
rather build from scratch.
That's what it is.
And before like Opus 4.5 dropped, what I used to do, like my workflow was, I would vibe code the entire thing, see how the AI wrote it, and I would rewrite it myself. Because two things: first of all, I enjoy the rewrite, like you're building it from scratch, and then the initial version sort of gives you an idea of like what the product looks like or should feel like. But now, to your point, Opus, like, you can maybe like just like vibe code an initial version, but then maybe you like, you drop in some MD files, a structure, maybe you have your own like pre-configured template, and it'll kind of do the job, right?
Yeah.
And instead of like editing, like you said, like a bunch of code, like, like maybe build like a couple microservices, patch them together, and to your point, just, which I hate, but.
Yeah, I don't like it too much.
You made a video about that actually, about your AI workflow, right?
Yeah.
So that's what you said. You basically use it for like sketching.
Yeah, it was like because a lot like people use Figma and stuff like that, and like to me it's like I don't have the patience to like and like draw and then like add like I'm just gonna like whisper or like some voice detection, use it, blab it, test it out, and then you can like rebuild yourself. And like it was like I wish we stayed there. Mm-hmm. I wish the model's just like, for some reason, scaling laws, it couldn't get any better, and we stayed there. But no, Opus and Claude keep getting better.
So you actually mentioned Fabrika, so
Yeah.
we can talk about that before we go into like Tempo and Convex and all of that.
Yeah.
So what's Fabrika?
So Fabrika is a product studio. Initially, because of like the YouTube videos, again, what was meant to get a job, people started to watch. And like the biggest inquiries is like, oh, can you build this for me, right? Or can we like hire you for our company, or can you like consult for us? and that's where like Fabrika sort of started. I have a business partner named Musanda. He was actually here, I think, at the Better Auth hackathon.
Yeah, I think I saw, yeah.
Yeah, so we work on it together, and basically, yeah, we're just a product studio. We have a full-time developer as well by the name of Mo, or a lot of you know him as Donut. And yeah, we just build apps for companies, for founders. Now it seems to be a lot of AI focused stuff.
Yeah.
In what sense? Like,
Like-
embedding AI in something, or is it like an
Yeah.
AI product?
Yeah, a bit of both, right? I would say embedding is more of the inquiry than like AI first. Like for example, I think one I could share is like they want like an internal accounting software that like does reconciliation every so often, and the AI does it, right? So something like that, and yeah, I basically do that with my full-time job. Very hectic, but it initially started off because a lot of people started to watch the YouTube videos, and here's another thing: content. Like I appreciate you guys doing content, because content is the best way to build trust, right?
Yeah.
Like content is the best way for people to see you and be like, oh, okay, that person's smart, we should hire him, right? Versus, again, I don't believe in spamming resumes. It's dead. Referrals and content, let people get to know you and your work. And yeah, Fabrika is like, it's that we don't do any outbound or reaching out to people. People come to us, and yeah, we're just building them software.
They come to you through your. Most of them come to you through your YouTube channel.
I would say
And-
99.9%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like, and the thing is, it makes it easier because then we don't have to explain who we are, what we're about, like the standard and the quality that we set and how hard we work, because like the videos sort of do that part of the sales process.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Let me get back to the accounting thing. We don't have to talk about the specific product, but I had a question. Like you said that basically you do reconciliation and you let the AI do it, right? So how do you guarantee like correctness in those kinds of situations?
Yeah, like so we're like, our product studio, I would say, is the most out of all the product studios, the most like we are the bearer of bad news to most customers, because we tell them that, hey, like it's not as good as you think. Like it's good, but it's not like as good as you think, right? So like one of the things that like we really encourage most people is this idea of human in the loop. That like, yeah, sure, let it do most of the heavy lifting for you, but the human got to check its work, right? So like that's one of those things. And another thing I learned a lot at Tempo is like your system prompt is very important. Like your system prompt, like a lot of people don't invest enough time in the system prompt. Like, and unfortunately, what sucks is it's very hard to test and iterate on a system prompt, because like you can, like, let's say we have one system prompt now, and in 2 days we want to update it. Like even if you have your own evals, like it takes a little bit of time, and like, you know, LLMs are not deterministic, right? So like it's very, very hard. So I think I would say with experience we've sort of developed this understanding and sauce, but it's never perfect. Almost always recommend human in the loop. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm gonna add to that the determinism point. I think so. I have like things I hear about every kind of like AI integration that's like that's in like the programming space right now. So I think the tab completion.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of useful, but like it introduces like a pause on you. Like you gotta. I think I've noticed this, like even though you know what you're gonna type, you take a pause and let
Like figure it out, please, and then yeah.
But also like another problem with like the prompt and the encode generation stuff is like what you said. It's not deterministic, so it's like you feel like it feels like you're gambling. Like every prompt is a gamble.
It is.
So is that like a skill issue, or do I get better? Do I have to get better on my like prompts? Like I think you mentioned.
It's like it's a bit of both, right? I think you get better over time, but generally, like yeah, the LLMs are these wild machines that no one really understands, right? Like, and that's the crazy part is, even the best researchers in the world will tell you, like, yeah, they call it ghosts, right? Like we kind of don't really understand how this thing really works, right? So like I think over time you get better, but like yeah, I'll do these tests, right? Like I'll have like 5 Cloud Code instances, build me this, and it's almost never the same thing, right? It's almost never the same. Now you can steer it in the right direction with like a template, like some MD files. There's this I forgot, they have this tool like Interview Me or Ask Me or Stop Ask or something like that. I forgot what it's called, and like that will like continue to ask you till it feels
every
like
single time you need to make a decision.
So like that's like pretty cool. Like that's pretty good. But like yeah, like there are these wild black boxes that we don't understand, and hopefully as time goes on, things will feel more deterministic. But yeah, I hate tab complete as well.
Yeah, it's not good.
Because I'll wait for it, and
yeah.
then when it gets it wrong, I'll write it, and then it'll figure it out, and then I'll hit tab.
Especially with like, I think the old Copilot one didn't, like the tab suggestions didn't include like deleting code.
Yeah.
But the cursor ones like do also, like I think, and I think Super Maven was the first to do it probably, but it's like tab complete. It's trying to like, I don't know, maybe you're trying to write down like 3 conditionals in a loop. Once you got done with the first one, it thinks like the other ones are not did it.
Yeah.
So it will like prompt you to delete those as well.
By the way, Cursor did acquire Super Maven. That's where they got their tab complete
yeah,
from.
yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. I guess so. You are kind of annoyed with Claude. That's what we're living with in Ethiopia.
But you know, it's funny. I use it a lot. Like
Yeah.
I use it a lot. It's just like I don't hate AI. It's actually very fun. Like I spun something up before leaving the house to meet you guys, and by the time I get back home, hopefully I have something, right?
Dangerously skip permissions? Or,
Yeah, of course, everything, right? YOLO mode, everything. But like, I do think like there's this art about programming that I genuinely love, like this sitting down and trying to figure out a problem and like that dopamine rush of figuring it out. I think, like, unfortunately, a lot of people won't experience that now, and that's the only part I kind of hate.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you about when did you you are talking about that Claude like Anthropic's models are blocked in Ethiopia.
Yeah.
So how did you find that out? Did you not know that?
No, I didn't know. Like I wanted to just like because I know how to be out a lot, so I just wanted to build like a mini app on my phone where I can like spin up Cloud Code instances, like the agent, on like a Daytona sandbox.
Yeah.
And I go like on the docs work, but then I go on Cloud Code Agent SDK, and it clicks and it says unavailable.
Yeah.
And then I tweeted at them. I'm speaking to a couple of them right now, and I'm like, okay, if you're gonna block everything, like why do I have access to certain part of the docs, right? And I get it. There's like legal
Did they
stuff.
give you the reason why they?
They gave me very high level, like, oh, like it's above us, like, you know, very corporate answer.
Yeah, ChatGPT had the same issue. By the way.
Back in like 2022?
Yeah. That was blocked. So it's blocked by default, and then decide
when
to
people complain.
But I got a VPN. Like I got a VPN.
Yeah.
So
That solves it for.
Yeah, but I didn't know, like, because I didn't need a VPN like before, so it was it's quite
another
interesting.
endorsement for T3 Chat. I guess.
yes.
If you don't wanna
Yes.
use a VPN.
And image gen is coming soon too, so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Awesome. So how is it like running a company like Fabrika? Or, did you start it here or in Canada? Or?
No, so it started like I would say a year and a half ago. So the channel is like a year and a half years old, and I basically, like by my 4th video, started Fabrika because I started to get a lot of inquiries.
Yeah.
I do work a full-time job as well
Yeah.
at Convex, so it is really stressful and difficult. Like I borderline burnt out. That's why I came here to see some family and relax.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where like I work at a great company where I learn a lot, and I also have these opportunities to build a lot of like excellent like projects and apps. Like I always have this itch to build, so like Fabrika is kind of like a way to make a little bit of change, but also build some projects. But it is very hard. It is very hard. I mostly recommend focusing on one thing and, you know, spending time with loved ones.
Yeah. I'm very interested in how you manage your time with like the YouTube channel and Fabrika and then Convex. Like 3 things.
Well,
I can barely survive with 2. So.
Yeah, well, my wife will tell you, I don't sleep much, which is very bad.
Yeah, it's
which
very
is
bad.
very, very bad, right? Like, it's cool at first. It's late nights, like I'm grinding, I'm hustling, #hustle on X. But it's very bad for your health. I don't recommend. Like I was pulling a lot of like 4 or 5 hour nights. And like I really had bad sleep. Yeah, I was like, you know, like sitting on the computer all day, no activities, no nothing. Like the one thing I would do is like on Sundays I go to church and that was pretty much it. So it was pretty bad. How am I going to manage going back? No idea. But we're gonna try to get at least a bit more sleep in.
Yeah.
I highly recommend people invest in their sleep.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you about like, how did you get into Convex? I think you won an AI hackathon, and then you made that great video that blew up on TikTok.
Yeah. So I've been a big fan of Convex ever since like my hiccup with my first startup with Supabase.
Okay.
Like I hated that I had to go to the dashboard a lot. Like the thing I like about Convex is everything's code. It's like Terraform for your backend, which I like, and it's fully TypeScript. And I like, you know, invested a lot of time in TypeScript. I'm glad TypeScript is winning.
Yeah.
please don't make Rust win. I'm joking.
TypeScript was one, but I guess Rust empowered
One
the
what?
bundlers.
One what actually?
You know, but
the web.
Everything.
Like the default, what the AI is going to use, like you tell it to do anything,
It's
it'll
TypeScript.
probably going to use TypeScript.
If you're like a company trying to make any kind of new developer, if you don't have a binding for TypeScript, you're
Yeah.
not gonna get anywhere.
Yeah, and all the money that's pouring into the ecosystem, like you have open source libraries, like even BetterAuth, right? Like BetterAuth is a perfect example where like TypeScript is so loved. Well, it could be loved for the wrong reason, but so used that like a framework like that wins.
Yeah.
But with Convex, the way I got the job is, so I was at Tempo, and I did a hackathon. This was like, I think maybe 2 weeks before my wedding. So I had a wedding this year, and it was a $10,000 prize, and I'm like, I could use the money, right, for the wedding. So I signed up, and it was like it's a company called Stan, and they're these like, it's like a platform for creators to like basically monetize and stuff like that. And so I get in, it's 24 hours, and I notice people are like in teams and stuff like that, and I don't know any of these people. I don't know what kind of chemistry we have. I can't really trust if you're good at what you say.
Yeah.
So I decided solo, right? You know the saying, if you want to go far, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with a team.
Yeah.
I wanted to go fast. I did not want to go far. So I decided to do solo, and like I knew everyone was going to do a chatbot. I just knew everyone's going to do a chatbot. They're probably going to use AI SDK or like LangChain, and like sure they'll have like UI in the AI chat. I knew everyone's going to do this. So I'm like, I'm going to do something different. It was risky, but I'm going to have like this like Figma-like node-like interface where like you can drag these nodes, and they're basically agents, and you can upload content to that canvas, and like it will ingest it as context, and then it'll create your thumbnails and this, that, and the third, right? Something I basically needed, right?
Yeah.
Really, because this was a time where like I'm trying to up my production game, trying to make better thumbnails and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, let's see if I could build a tool to help me with that. Yeah. And I went all in on Convex. Like I used every single primitive of Convex, like even some of the stuff they don't recommend you to use. So I used that, I won, and I did a video on it. It did extremely well. But before all this, I had met with the Convex team. I'd been to their office because I did some content for them, and I met with their CEO, Jamie. And he basically, like, we talked, we had some lunch, and he's like, hey, listen, if you're ever bored, join us. And then I won the hackathon. And this, again, connections, friendships, referrals.
Yeah.
I didn't give in no resume. I didn't we did like 2-3 chats with the team just to see how it was a culture fit, and that's it. But then the hackathon really pushed it over, because I'm in the Slack channel now since I joined, and I searched my name just to see if they were talking about me before. And they like posted like the hackathon, like, oh, this is really good. He really understands Convex. Like, we need to get this guy. So yeah, I was at Tempo, and like, Tempo's pretty good, but I was doing stuff I already knew.
Yeah.
Like scale, fast. Same old, right?
Tempo is like this.
It's a vibe coding tool, essentially.
It's a visual builder type.
Yeah, it's more like for designers. Like the target market is Figma users, who might be like a little bit technical. But I was doing the same thing. Yeah. Convex was a lot newer, because like we're talking about building systems and stuff like that. I really not really done that. So that's why I joined.
So I was gonna ask about like Convex. So did they like? I think so you said you're already talking to them before the video and like before the hackathon win. So are you kind of like doing DevRail out there, or like what's your role?
Yeah, so it's funny.
I saw that you also built like their Stripe integration.
Component, yeah. So it's funny. Like I joined, because here's the thing. Like their core engineer team, their requirements I just don't meet, right? A lot of these guys are Rust system engineers, like creme de la creme. And I'm a TypeScript guy, right? So I'm like, listen, I will join, however, but the expectation is I want to climb up. I want to learn, and I want to climb up. Yeah. So, ever since, like, I've been writing a lot of code. Like, I built our official, like, Stripe component. Yeah. And yeah, really the reason I joined is I wanted to learn. Like I'm fine with not being a lead or whatever. I just want to learn from these guys.
Yeah. Okay. I get that.
So how are they Rust? So do they use Rust for something at the Convex?
Yeah, I would say a good chunk of like Convex is written in Rust.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, their backend.
I thought it was like a purely TypeScripting.
I think their
That's
sync engine.
Our client libraries are like, we have TypeScript client libraries. We also have like Swift and all
okay.
that stuff, and it's end-to-end type safe.
Yeah.
We love end-to-end type safety, but yeah, like the core backend is written in Rust.
Okay, okay.
And
So,
yeah, it's a sync engine. I think it's powered by Postgres.
okay, okay.
Not necessarily. That's interchangeable.
We're moving to MySQL.
Wow.
So it's funny, we don't use the database relationally. It's just a means of tracking records, right? So Convex's main primitive is transactions. Everything is a transaction, right? So it either completes or it fails, right? And the way we used Postgres, and I know we're slowly migrating off, is it was just this record keeping of every single transaction that's made, right? So we don't even use it relationally. It's an ID with the transaction record and the changes that are made. That's it.
Okay, so it's like a transaction table. It has an ID and like some kind of JSON column.
Yeah, I will say the Convex team generally dislikes Postgres because the two founders, and this is one of the big reasons I joined, the two founders are the reason Dropbox scaled the size it scaled. Jamie built Dropbox Sync Engine, and James, he actually has a quote. You know that book? I forgot the book, the red and white book about like systems design or whatever. He has a quote in that book.
Oh, designing data in
Yes, right? He's a doctor, like MIT.
okay.
Like he worked with the person who coined abstractions. So these are very like systems people, and he basically scaled Dropbox's database to tens of thousands, right? So these are people like who know and breathe, who know and breathe scale. One of the reasons, again, I wanted to learn from those people because it's very rare nowadays to be in contact with those people. That being said, they're not real big fans of Postgres because we've realized Postgres at intense scale sort of breaks. And this is why Superbase, if you notice, invests in a lot of like open source libraries to patch up all the issues of Postgres, right? But I think in web dev world, Postgres is cool, it has great branding, everyone picks it, but at Convex, we're actually not big fans. MySQL for the win.
So what's MySQL's like winning?
So here's the thing. Details-wise, I can't give you a concrete, this is better than this. One thing I know for sure is that Postgres, and I believe it's PG Bouncer, PG, one of the primitives, at very intense scale, it just can't handle it, right? That's why, like, if you notice at Superbase, I think they call it DevCon, Dev Day or whatever, they were investing in this rewrite of PG something, right? So I think it's this idea of like scale, MySQL being able to scale better. But I think one thing I've learned from Convex is both of these technologies are so old. They were built in a time where the level of scale we've achieved right now is not, you know, these guys didn't think of it in 19 whatever when they were writing SQL statements, right? And I think that's where like Convex takes a different look at your back end. And I think with like the new AI wave, this idea of like a backend abstraction existing for you that's fully TypeScript that the AI is good at writing at. It just made it made perfect sense for me to join from a learning perspective and also because at the end of the day you have to be smart, right? You can hate AI. Oh, I hate using these tools, whatever, but you don't want to get left behind, right? You want to win. You want to be the best. You want to make some money. You want to take care of your family. We all want to do that. So yeah, that was the decision to join Convex and been learning a lot, especially about scale.
All right. So Convex is basically a sync engine that also adds a lot of stuff on top, like authentication and like
I think
stuff
sync
like that.
engine is like a feature for them. They're like, they want to be your backend. They have a workflow system. And
Yeah, so we're basically your complete backend, and then we like we do scheduled jobs, we do workflows, and we have this component system now where you can have like these drop-in isolated sandboxes of Convex, where like for example, if you wanted Stripe payments, instead of writing the code for yourself, we have these what we call components. They're basically npm packages. You npm install in your Convex project, and all the code is there for you. And this is what I love about Convex. It's all code, right? It's all TypeScript. It's all there. I don't have to go to the dashboard to configure anything, and which was my biggest issue with Superbase. It's like I gotta go settings, scroll down, turn this thing on, write RLS, all this stuff, right? And even the way Convex is architected, like for example, back to my Web3 startup, when we first launched, we had a little hacking issue. And the reason why we had a hacking issue is I didn't read the docs, so mostly my fault. But I just noticed that Supabase had a client library. It's like, oh, I could call my database from my client. This is genius, right? Why do I need to have an Express server? I'll just call everything then. But then I then learned that, oh, that's very bad. You should not call your database from your client because everything was exposed. And if someone started to delete records, thank goodness I had a backup. Thank goodness I had a backup. But that was one thing that turned me. I was like, oh, like even though yes, in the docs it mentioned that, you know, this leaks, I shouldn't even have that type of access, right?
Yeah.
With Convex, what's cool is the only way you can interact with your database is if you write a Convex function which lives on the Convex server. So from the client, I call the Convex server, which calls the database, and a WebSocket connection is established, which is why, like, you know, everything syncs, everything's real time. You make a change on your database, it is live instantly. And the reason why I'm a big pusher for Convex is, at the end of the day, as much as we love engineering, if you're building a product, 95% of the stuff you should care about is the product. User experience, how good it feels. Like I will say, I'm having a very terrible time with the app standard here in Addis. Like we called the Faras the other day, and I noticed that there was like an Eats. So I'm like, oh, let me click Eats, and then I realized the page is black, the text is black, and like there's animations in the buttons. Couldn't use it at all, right? So I feel like with something like Convex, you can focus on the main thing, which is a product. And again, I enjoy building, you know, all this stuff, but at the end of the day, you have to make business decisions, right? So yeah, to your point, Convex is basically your complete backend. If there's something missing, there's components for it. We have auth. We don't recommend you use Convex auth because auth is a very simple, that can be a very difficult thing. You can use Better Auth, you can use Clerk, you can use WorkOS, but yeah, I recommend you use Convex. At least try it. The free tier is very generous.
Yeah, so I was gonna like, well, maybe let's just stay in the sync engine already. So I think the Tanstack people launched like Tanstack DB, and they have integrations with like the other like sync
Electric
engine.
SQL and all that stuff.
Electric SQL and stuff like that. Like, what do you guys feel about that? Like, can somebody create a Tanstack DB adapter for Convex, or why would?
I think someone is currently at the point. So the Tanstack team, Tanner, is very good friends with us at Convex. I met him a couple of times. Really cool guy. I will say I do have an issue with the name.
Confish was also complaining about
what name? Like the Tanstack?
Tanstack
It should be called Tanstack Sync, in my opinion, right? Because, like, yeah, he made the argument that it is deep. It's really not, right? I like the idea of sync being an important primitive in 2026 in particular, because like I think the standard of apps should increase. I think it should be fast and instant and quick. In terms of like competition with Electric SQL, Zero, and there's a couple other players, I definitely think Convex is in the lead. But one thing that we're also working on is like if you want to use such adapter, like such thing, that you should be able to use it with Convex, right? So I think it's a space where everyone can win, but I'm obviously biased and I think Convex is better. Although I do find like the way collections are architected in Tanstack DB quite cool. I just think the name needs to change.
I think Convex is at this moment probably the if we ignore like the newer ones like InstantDB or stuff like that, I think it's the only one you could use like as a product. I think you have to like if I decide to use Electric SQL, I think I have to deploy it myself or stuff like that.
Yeah, like and like they have their own cloud and stuff like that as well. But I think like if we're talking like if you're building like a side project, you can use whatever, right? But I think the moment you have customers, like, and we're starting to like get a lot of enterprise interest, like time in the game matters, right? And I'm like I love new technologies. I'm a chronic alpha and beta user. But like when you're building real products, like, you know, you have to make the right decision. But I do think in the sync world, there's enough space for everyone to win. I don't think there's going to be one like, you know, who rules it all. I think everyone can win, and everyone might have like a different way of handling things because sync is sort of opinionated, in my opinion. But yeah, I think it's a fun space. I'm enjoying it. I've been playing with Electric SQL a bit.
Yeah, I think that one thing could that could come with like some like Tanstack DB. It could become like a common API for all the other like sync engine providers, and you can just plug in what like provider you want to use.
Yeah,
something like that.
But Tanstack's coming for everyone. They dropped Tanstack AI as well, which like To me, it
Yeah, it's
feels
like
like Tanner's on a vengeance and wants to destroy everybody.
Yeah. It's like he's competing against the frameworks, the sync engines,
Yeah.
the AI SDKs.
And I don't know if you noticed the tagline. It's like, "Oh, we're not cloud specific." It's like he's firing shots at my Vercel friends.
Yeah, I think that's good. So yeah, I guess we can talk about. I think in your last video you mentioned like we can talk. I guess I'm gonna go into like AI stuff now.
Okay.
Okay.
So you mentioned that Google is like the one that's like that's gonna win the. I think Theo was also talking about this, Theo T3. But like I don't know. I don't feel like I buy it. It's like because like, even though they're in like as you said in your video, they're in like every bucket of the AI chain. Um, it's like in every single bucket they're not the best one, or like they're following up with somebody else. So I think if somebody like it could invalidate like if they okay, let's talk about it. Like they do have TPUs. Let's say OpenAI like announces like some like I don't know AGI model tomorrow, but that's not gonna run on TPUs. That's gonna run on NVIDIA GPU. So that destroys their. Even though they have it, it's practically useless at that point. So I don't really buy it. People are also saying this during like the early ChatGPT days. They were just waiting for them. They're gonna win it and stuff. And then when they announced like Bard, everybody said,
Bard is
no, no, they're not gonna win this. And now when they're like, they're kind of back, but I don't think it's gonna sustain maybe.
So here's the thing. I'll push back, and the reason why I'll push back is there's a couple things. I think you're right in a sense where Google did a lot of these early drops of unfinished products. For example, anti-gravity is terrible, right? If you guys have used anti-gravity. And like Bard originally was terrible as well. In that same video or in another video, I mentioned that I've noticed there are different moves companies make, right? There's we love developers, let's release something open source, great for the love of the game. There's, this is for our customers, they're gonna enjoy it. And the third one is let's make shareholders happy. And a lot of what Google has been doing the last year, other than Gemini and Nano Banana Pro, in my opinion, has been shareholder moves. I think the space is moving extremely fast. Anthropic is booming. OpenAI is booming. They had to make shareholders happy. So anti-gravity was a shareholder drop. What is it? A lot of their, like even the TPUs. Like I agree. I think it's very early. I think there's a lot of experimentation that they're doing. Shareholder drop, right? So I think they've done a lot of shareholder drops. But here's the thing. I don't know if the current Google leadership is the right leadership. But if they have the right leadership, there should be no reason they lose. In my opinion, OpenAI is in the toughest spot of them all.
Yeah.
And because they had the widest lead, and everyone seems to have caught up, right? GPT 5.2, that was a shareholder drop. Gemini Pro came, right? Everyone was talking about it, and they have Gemini Pro Thinking Review, which is like insane on the charts. And Nano Banana Pro smoked Sora. So they dropped 5.2. I'm telling you, it was a shareholder drop, right? So I've noticed that in this startup AI VC-backed world, a lot of the moves a lot of these companies make is just pleasing VCs, which is sad, right? Because imagine if Google actually locked in and stayed down and focused on one particular product.
Yeah.
I have no doubt they can get it right. Another thing why I think Google can win is, I don't know if you've noticed the new style of acquisitions that are happening.
Oh yeah.
For example, Grok,
Yeah.
Windsurf, where they're not acquiring the companies,
They're
they're acquiring the team, and they have a license to the product.
Yeah, exclusive like that.
Which is basically an acquisition.
Yeah.
But the reason why they're doing that is that's how they defeat the monopoly laws,
Yeah.
right? In the video, I mentioned that Google's biggest issue was monopoly laws, right? Because Google is freaking huge. But if this avenue now exists, and these guys have infinite money, to me, the big thing is leadership. Will they have good leadership? I don't know if the current CEO is the right guy. I know Logan, who is the head of AI at Google, who I think was at OpenAI before. I think he's made a lot of strides. Like Gemini is the model it is because of him and his leadership. But I think Google is in a great spot. Sure, they don't have the best products right now, but Nano Banana Pro is amazing. Gemini 3, like a lot of like students I know back home, especially in my church, they tell me, oh, we love Gemini. They're using Gemini more than they're using ChatGPT. So I think Google can be first. I do agree with you. In every vertical, they are lacking behind. But man, at least make me CEO and we can figure it out. But my thing is like their best position. OpenAI has the factor of them being like them having the B2C factor, like people, everyone uses, like my
Yeah.
auntie uses ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But I do think a lot of these companies are catching up,
Yeah.
and Google has this. If they can do these sneaky acquisitions, I think they can buy out the competition.
Yeah.
I mean, ChatGPT is like the household name at this point because there's this guy I work for. He asked me, ask ChatGPT, to build a
Yeah.
product using ChatGPT or something.
Yeah.
He always uses ChatGPT, but I've never used ChatGPT.
Yeah, like I think
So-
the normie
like,
space is ChatGPT. Like,
ChatGPT, that's
some of them don't even call it ChatGPT. They call it chat.
Chat.
yeah.
So like I like they have that sort of monopoly, which is good, but I think Google can catch up because like when you search on Google, the first thing that pops up is AI mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah.
So I could be wrong, but you know,
And also, I think anti-gravity, even though it's not great, but they do have a very generous like free tier.
yeah,
free
like
tier,
all the models are
it's-
free, which
it's crazy.
again because they have all the money in the world, they have
Yeah.
GDP level money. They're
Yeah.
willing to burn it.
It's yeah, they're offering like basically what everyone else offers for $20 a month. They're offering
For
it for
free,
free.
yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
that's
So
good.
okay, so I guess like let's get back to like some technical stuff and so I saw your GitHub and like you said everything I was saying was TypeScript and WebDev and stuff. So you were like I see like when a lot of people are starting out programming, it's like they do a little bit of WebDev, they do a little bit of like Python, I don't know, email stuff. But you are like laser focused. Was that because I think you've already answered this probably because you're building a product. You had your priorities straight. You didn't like
Yeah,
play
Explore
around.
and
so if you look
different-
at my GitHub, there's a lot of private repo, bunch of stuff, right?
Okay.
Like there's C and stuff like that. I think I made the decision early on to sort of like you can't. I don't think I'm a master at TypeScript, but I really just wanted to hone in this one thing because again, right? Like I was building a product, right? Like
Yeah.
that was the main purpose. Now like I'm learning like Scheme and like Lisp and like these are all things for like it's for the fun of the game,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's what you do.
But I think, again, I personally think TypeScript is sort of one in this like web and mobile sphere, which is like what I particularly focus on.
Yeah.
And like even like it's funny like we'll get inquiries to build products, and even the non-technical people will be like, oh, use Next.js, use TypeScript. Like, they don't know what these things are.
But they've heard of the names. and
Right?
stuff.
So it's quite sad, but the brand of the framework is sort of surpassing the validity of like, oh, speed, this, that, and the third, right? And then you have things like Bun as well, right? Like, which is like making like, in my opinion, the TypeScript ecosystem much better.
Yeah.
It's one of those where I decided to sharply, especially from like a public point of view, focus on that. But I do think in the new year, well, we are in the new year, I do want to do content on like other languages. Like I bought this book called 7 Languages in 7 Days or 7 Weeks.
Okay.
Right? Like I'm on the part of Ruby and all that stuff like
Yeah.
that, right? But I think like your TypeScript skills are pretty valuable in today's market.
Yep.
So that's sort of what I showcase. But I do want to do like other things. Like I want to build other projects. But it was just like, think about it. I've been in the game for like 3.5 years. Didn't really, and now AI's involved. I don't really have the luxury of like, oh, let me just 6 months be nerd sniped by this, right? Like even now, like I'm learning Effect. Effect's basically TypeScript, right? So it's a fortunate but unfortunate thing as well.
Yeah, I think it's good. People like to people say like, should I generalize or specialize and stuff like that? But I guess you just gotta choose one and be like try to cover all aspects of that language and stuff.
If you're like super young, then you have the time to like dilly dally, right? But like I just turned 29, right? So I'm not like the young dev like for you know what I mean? Like I'm 29, I'm married, I got a family. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I like have to be very specific and smart with my moves, and like TypeScript just seems to be the right move. Although like I've been enjoying writing Scheme and all the brackets and all the stuff like that, right? Like it's been great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's more so like a business decision than it was like a passion thing.
Yeah, but like I think the main point in that is just you gotta build something.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
that's the main thing, right? Like you can't, like you can read all the books, you can watch all the videos, but you just gotta build. Like, and you have to. I definitely think the best programmers enjoy it, right? Even with AI, this is my humble opinion. Someone who has programming experience will be a better prompter, will be a better reviewer. Like, will be like, because sometimes, again, to our point, models are not deterministic. Let's say it does it the wrong way or like the less efficient way. Still works, but it's less efficient. Programmer can be like, oh no, like we could use a background job for this, or we can have like a queuing system for this, or we can X, Y, and Z, right? And the model will do it, we'll build it, right? But I think having that understanding and knowledge will, even if we enter an era where all we do is prompt, will make you a better prompter. So
yeah. I read somewhere that this guy making an argument that LLMs democratized building, while the same way YouTube democratized like content publishing, sharing, or whatever. But that doesn't mean like anyone that posts on YouTube is a great content creator, right? So you have to be like still good at something.
Yeah, and most of the people who say that, I'll be honest, don't know what they're talking about, right? Because like, in my opinion, the best like AI users are developers.
Yeah.
Right? Like some of the best people I know, like they know how to write code, right? So they can steer it the right way. I think there's a lot of like people who are not devs who are having this insane moment of like, oh, like programming used to be hard and the nerds looked down on us. Now we can do what they could do. It's like a revenge arc, right?
Yeah,
it's like, oh, I cloned your app in 30 seconds. It's like, that was a crud app. There's a lot more to what I'm building, right? So, yeah, I definitely think like, you know, a lot of people are loud.
But okay, I think there could be like some stuff happening, and I don't know. I think what the post what I saw, but so I think it's like you think of like some specific like I don't know bureaucratic work like most developers don't know about, but like there's like I don't know like some kind of like weird accounting form everybody has to fill out or something like that, and then but all the data is there and everybody in that field hates it.
Yeah.
And there's just one like it's just that knowledge is kept within like the world of I don't know accountants.
Yeah.
Like the
And
domain
then-
knowledge.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then I think we could see stuff like people using like vibe coding tools like to just create like some simple app that will like automate the process of that filling out that form or something like that,
Yeah.
and that will blow up within the.
100%.
Well, I think we can say that.
So, I'll be honest, Claude Code to me is not just a programming agent. I think it's actually a general agent. Like the most fun you could do, I encourage everybody, spin up a sandbox. Like you can use like Daytona or whatever, they have a free tier, and like just have Claude Code running on it. Give access to the file system, give it access to like the web. Like it can do so much, right? And to your point, right? Like let's say you have some spreadsheet, like organize this or calculate that. I definitely do think, and I'm so happy for this, lawyers, like that knowledge is going to be so democratized because I don't know how lawyers charge here, but there they charge by the hour. And they're charged like $400 an hour. And 20 minutes is spent on thinking, right? So it's like...
So, to your point, me and a couple of my friends started a company in the EU, and there was like a lot of like filing process. Like, EU is notoriously bureaucratic, like in everything. So it was either pay a lot of money to lawyers or figure it out ourselves. And I'm glad to say that we figured it out through.
Nice.
So we did the company creation process, all of that stuff, the board agreement, like the thing. So all of that was handled by like AI.
Yeah.
And we sort of double checked with other people that went through the same process, but it was more than enough. We would have paid like 3,000-4,000 euros.
And that's the exciting part. And that's what I like Claude Code for. It's like the programming stuff is cool, but like, you know, you give it access to some tools and like some data and like a file system and like it can do a lot lot of things, right?
Yeah.
Obviously don't give it access to your like main computer,
That's
please.
why
And have dangerously skip. But I think like stuff like that is exciting to build, and I do think we're going to enter an era of like personal software. Like this is just for me. It's not for everybody else. So it can have the purple that we don't like, but like it's useful to me and my business or my world.
Especially in the like financial management type of thing for your finances, for your own finances.
100%. 100%.
You've mentioned like Daytona and sandboxes a couple of times. I feel like those I'm not really aware of what they do, but those kind of companies feel like a bit against them. The more it's getting smarter over time. So will we need a sandboxing system if Claude Code was smarter?
I don't think it's a bet against the models getting smarter. I think the move that most sandbox companies should make is this idea where people, like, they're not sandboxes, they're personal working spaces, right?
Okay.
And like you let the agents run wild, right? I definitely do think, like, to your point again, as developers, like, I'm sure you could spin up your own sandbox, you know. You're talking about Kubernetes, a couple pods here, like, you know, a little Docker or whatever, like it's fine, right? Like, but I think like this idea of like running agents, letting agents run wild, but also having a personalized space. I think that's where it works. I definitely do think a lot of people, like the sandboxers are making two bets.
Yeah.
Personal workspaces and the open source models doing really, really well. Which
Okay.
at first I was bearish on the idea of the open source models catching up, but then after seeing GLM, Minimax, and DeepSeek,
Yeah.
I think the open source models are going to be on par, maybe a little less good, but enough for most people to use them. So in cases like that, like I can have my own model and I can have this own controlled environment of mine that I own. I think that's the bet the sandbox companies are making.
Okay.
Or I notice a lot of companies are built to just be acquired.
Yeah. I think.
That's a business model
Yeah.
for a lot of like,
There's the famous exit.
yeah, like you're just like, you are going to solve this domain problem that Cursor has,
Yep.
or Anthropic has.
Yep.
You're going to do it so well. You probably have the same investors, right? Like, so investor in Anthropic is the same investors,
Yeah.
anything. And it's like, hey, instead of like
Building.
building this from scratch or hiring a new team, we'll just acqui-hire these guys, buy their thing, they'll make some good money,
Yeah.
and we're just gonna use that technology, right? So a lot of them are like that.
Yeah. It
Right.
feels like that.
And that's a smart move in and of itself, right? I don't think everyone's gonna hit the, the IPO, like, but like if you can get acquired by one of the, like that's what Super Maven did, and I'm sure their team did very, very well.
Yeah. The band founder Jared, I think he finally took a vacation.
Yeah. He hasn't committed anything the last 4 or 5 days,
Yeah.
right?
So yeah, it does pay off.
And I know that Anthropic acquisition was was really good. So
Yeah.
I think that's what the plot is.
Okay. That's
Is that the same for Convex?
No,
No.
because there have been offers, and they've turned it down. And I think, again, they're not young developers, right? So they're not. Again, this is me speaking, assuming on them personally, but I don't think they're looking to sell for 100, 200 million, right? I think
Yeah.
they want to go out in a bang, like we're going big or we're going home. And
Yeah.
I also love that energy where it's like, yeah, let's go be an AWS, or let's,
Yeah.
as the old what's his name, Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent said, get rich or die trying.
Yeah. I don't see Convex getting acquired by, I don't know, maybe. I don't like. It would have to be like some kind of Anthropic band style.
Yeah.
Like nobody saw coming, or
Like it'd have to be like a model, like a coding model.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, yeah. I guess.
So let's get into like your content creation journey, and we can wrap it up after that. But I don't know if you want to continue, we can.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
yeah. So I guess you started YouTube because you wanted to get basically visibility for you, and you wanted to improve your career and get jobs, whatever.
Yeah.
But right now, that's not. I'm sure that's not the only reason.
That's, yeah.
So what's the reason right now? Like you're making a lot of cool videos. I appreciate that. But what's the?
So yeah, there's two reasons, right? First, there's the reason that everyone gives, and I agree with too, is I enjoy creating content that people watch,
Yeah.
right? Like to hear you guys say, oh, like we enjoy the video stuff. That just
Yeah.
makes me happy, right? But the second reason also, it's it's a great business model, right? Content is like it opens doors. People trust you, right? Like I think we live in a trust-based society where like even hiring is a trust decision, right? So that the content allows for me to be in people's faces and to develop trust. Now, this trust is a great responsibility, right? With great power comes great responsibility. So it's like I have a lot of aspirations, right? Like I think this year I want to launch like my own like product, like my own like legitimate like the first one, and the content's going to help, right? Like like pushing it to, I think I have like 70,000 subscribers. That's a massive help, right? Versus like building from scratch. Right? So the big thing was and is like I have product ideas that I want to push to the world, and having an audience is a great validator, whether it's good or bad, right? It doesn't mean you automatically succeed, but it's a great way to indicate whether something's going to work or not. And that's the big thing, right? I want to build so much trust with people that when I finally launch my own thing, it's like, you know what? I trust this guy. He has great intentions. He knows how to build. I'm going to use this thing.
Yeah, I saw the similar things in our country as well. People get these huge audience based
yeah.
through like Telegram.
Yep,
And
that's what I did.
that's what he did. So whenever he builds something cool, he just posts it on
Yeah.
Telegram, and people just use it. And that's how most of his stuff got noticed. And
Yeah,
I think that's a great idea for
yeah.
our viewers.
Yo,
as well.
content
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like, and it's like, and you don't have to like, you know what's cool? It's like you can be like people want to watch you. So if you're monotone and like you're that, there's a lot of monotone developers who create great content. If you're like very loud and exuberant, be that, right?
Yeah.
Like whatever your you're a Vim, like you're disgusted by IDEs and all you use is NeoVim.
That's
You-
people want to watch.
Yeah, well, you don't do that. You hate AI. There's a whole niche for people who hate AI. You love AI. There's right. So I would genuinely like encourage every single person, even if you feel like, oh, I'm not great, just do it. Just do it. There's a lot you can learn from it. I think if you're someone who's shy with speaking, like it really helps. Like your speaking and like being able to articulate a thought. Like it's one thing to know something, it's another thing to articulate it to others, right?
Yep.
And a lot of people, especially a lot of engineers, are terrible with articulating what they're thinking or what like a concept that they understand, right? And I think content really helps with it. So highly encourage everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, 2020, everybody's got to become a content creator.
Everybody. Because that's the one thing hopefully the AI doesn't take away from us.
Hopefully.
Well,
Banana's pretty good, yeah.
But
Yeah.
would people want to watch someone else? Like, I don't know. I don't see that happening. People would want to watch like something. I guess just if I just showed you a movie and told you like it was like after you saw it, like it was
created by AI.
yeah, it was fully generated by AI. Wouldn't that take away from?
I think our generation will care. I think the next
probably yeah.
they won't give a darn.
Yeah.
But what do you think about all of this public domain stuff being used to train AI? And
It happened.
what's that?
You know what it is? Again, let me share with you some VC insight. A lot of them know it's wrong, but will do it anyway because they've raised enough money to pay for the lawsuits.
Okay. Well, will there be lawsuits? Like,
Yeah, there will be, but who cares? You raised $300 million.
Yeah.
Sure, you got to pay a couple people $2-3 million. Big whoop, right? Versus what they get in return. And that's the thought process, right? It's like, yeah, I'm going to train against all this data that I'm not allowed to, but we're going to make so much money. We're going to raise so much money that whatever lawsuit I get, it don't really matter.
Yeah, I think that battle has been lost. But did you not hear? Like I think a couple of weeks ago, Disney signed a deal with like OpenAI,
And now they can use
licensing all their like IP to them.
Yeah.
It's been lost. It's been lost.
Like the old Disney team would never allow that.
No, that's like, you can like generating like I don't know Mickey Mouse like videos and stuff.
Yeah.
It's perfectly legal now because they got like the licensing there.
So yeah, it's one of those where like you raise enough money to the point where the
and
issues don't matter.
Yeah, the economy is at this point dependent on the AI.
And that's the thing. And the government,
Everybody's
it'll
gotta
be
pay
people who sue, but I don't think the government will care because like imagine all the job creation, the tax money, right?
Yeah.
Like, and especially the U.S. The U.S. does not want to
US is
lose to
basically,
China,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like they cannot afford to lose. It's basically a Cold War. They cannot lose to China.
Yeah.
So OpenAI is training against, someone's baby picture. They don't care. It's wrong, but they don't care.
Yeah. Awesome. So, like, what's like in the future for your channel? Like, what are you planning on doing with that? And
Yeah, so I'm gonna be ramping up production. I hired a full-time editor recently.
nice.
Yeah,
This
Habsha guy.
is the
Shout
first
out to
time you
Ken.
have.
I would say the last 2 months we've been experimenting. Well, no, month and a half. But like everything before that has been me. And that's the thing. You can watch my video quality now and go like 6 months before, starkly different. But it didn't really matter, right? So like this excuse of like, oh, the quality has to be good.
Yeah.
Not in the beginning, right?
But wait, you do mostly you do like this talking head like
Screen
type of
record,
things,
right, yeah.
screen record, and then your screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you doing now exactly?
So now
Because
like I have the same camera you guys have, the Osmo camera.
DJI Pocket.
And then I record my screen, and then my editor just puts them together. But if you don't have this, you can literally use
Your phone.
QuickTime, or you can use your phone. Most people's phone cameras are great. So yeah, just pick up and shoot. But in terms of goals, like I definitely want to like encapsulate a lot of the new AI stuff that's happening. But I also, even if it doesn't get a lot of views, want to stay true to a lot of the programming roots. And the big thing is like I want to launch a product.
Okay.
So that's the big thing I'm gearing up for.
Can you give us hints about what the product is?
I have a couple things in line. I don't know which one's gonna win. but we'll see.
We'll see.
Which one is going to win internally?
And,
Like,
in terms like and this is the great part. Now since I have Fabrika, I can pull Fabrika and be like, I can use Donut to help out. I can use Musonda, who's like great with product to help out. So that's been great. But yeah, we have like I have a couple of products in mind, couple stuff in beta. It's just a matter of which one makes more sense for the market. And also one of the products I mentioned was like a trading app.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to deal with legal stuff. So we might put that on the side.
Yeah.
that's the right decision.
Yeah.
What's Fabrika stack?
Yeah, like
Are you using?
we're TypeScript soy boys, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's like React, TanStack Query, Convex. I don't know if you guys use Alicia.
We do.
Yeah,
You do?
Donut like talks about it. In
Alicia is
Instagram,
really
he loves
good.
it.
Yeah, Alicia is really good.
It's like a super fast like web framework for
Yeah,
fans.
it's really fast. So I would say Next.js, but I'll be honest, when TanStack goes 1.0, we'll probably switch to TanStack.
Yeah.
But for now it's Next.js, Convex, Alicia, if we need like to use like endpoint, like have like a separate Next.js server, AI SDK. Although I think for one project we used Monstra. I don't know which one I like better. But the thing is, I have like friends who work on the AI SDK team, so like if we have a problem, we can poke. And
Okay,
so
so
a lot of those decisions are based on like, do we have someone who works there that like if we have an issue, can work. Auth, obviously better Auth. But if we like need like enterprise, we'll go for WorkOS.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for the most part.
Well, clients don't really care, right?
You
or
know,
do they have?
some like this one guy came, was like, I want you guys to use Postgres, and I was on the call. I'm like, what is Postgres? Please explain to me. And like I told him, I'm not trying to be rude, but like what you're trying to build, what you suggested does not matter. Like someone will be like, oh, we want to use React Router v7. You know, they watched a YouTube video, right? And they're like, oh, this is good. And it's like, there's like, I would say the easier route for us would be like, yeah, we'll use whatever you want. But I think people's like customers' products are a reflection of our studio. So I'll tell them, no, this is the best thing for the job. So we stick to what we know. We stick to what the AI is good at, because we assume that they're going to hand it off to someone and they're probably going to use AI. So we make sure, there's a nice Cloud MD file. There's a couple of MD files to help guide whatever agent they use. So a lot of people, especially non-technical people, will suggest. Technical people don't care. Like if there's like a CTO of some company, they'll be like, yeah, use whatever you guys want. Just keep it modern.
So I guess that's it for my questions.
Yeah, I think I don't have any more questions. But thank you.
Do you like have anything to say about anything about your experience?
Yeah. Like
it's been a while, right?
Since
it's
you
been
came
8
back? Years. Yeah, it's been 8 years. It's
what changes did you see? I guess.
Yeah, I don't recognize a lot of the city.
Wow.
Like a lot of the roads are wider. There's a lot of buildings now, and I definitely think like as an encouragement to everyone watching, it's like I think we live in a time where even though yes, like it might feel like this is not the best place to be, but the West is the best place to be. I think the internet has democratized reach, right? I think someone like Barakat is like a great example of if you build and you document and you share, like at some point something's going to stick. And I just encourage people to like always do that, like to be public about what you're building, to be public about like the things you're working on, the things you're like maybe you don't understand a specific stack. Like everything can be content, whether it be tweets or YouTube videos. I would 100% go hard on content, and I wouldn't be a shadowy developer. Build in public. Even if you feel like someone's going to copy you, let them copy you. But that track record helps, right? So I think there's a lot of bright minds here. Partner up, work together, collab. Like I love seeing you two like working together like this. I don't think where you are, especially if you have an internet connection with a VPN, I've been told, like you can make stuff happen. It's obviously going to be harder, but if you got that Habasha grit in you, I don't doubt you'll win.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for that.
Thank you guys.
Yeah. And congratulations. I think you got married
recently. Yes, recently. Yes.
Congratulations. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Make sure to subscribe to these guys.
Subscribe to him too.
Please.
Rasmic on YouTube.
Yeah, probably most of them.
There are one or two. We can contribute like a couple.
Yeah,
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, see you next time. So ይሄ የራስ ማይክ ኤፒሶድ ሪከርድ ያደረግነው DxValley 2.0 at the Cooperative Bank of Oromia ስፔስ ነው እና they have a cool space የምታስታውሱ ከሆነ ቤተር ሀክ ላይ የነበራችሁ ሰዎች የቤተሮት የ2025 2025 ሀካቶን የተዘጋጀው እዚህ ነው እና it's a cool place yeah check it out. Thank you El Shaddai, thank you Cooperative Bank of Oromia for hosting us. Hopefully we'll record more episodes here.